The Galactic Center is located at 26 degrees Sagittarius. And we are there now. In the heart of consciousness, beyond the realm of space and time, the cosmic power of transformation is upon us, here in the Galactic Center. It's a mystical adventure and a better way to live. Finding harmony and balance in a journey to the light that lies within. So let the psychic cruise begin. Release your mind, unwind the time. Welcome to the Galactic Center.
You'll be happy to know that there is an alternative to plastic surgery if you want to recontour your body. This is Lori Gregg, a clinical hypnotherapist. And I understand you've been doing some very exciting work with hypnotherapy that can actually change the way you look. Do you want to explain for the viewers just what exactly is hypnotherapy?
Well, first, hypnotherapy, people always have the wrong idea because they watch the movies and they go see the stage hypnotists that make you bark like a dog and do other things. That's really not it is hypnosis in a form. But hypnotherapy is simply a state of mind. It's a state of relaxation, a state of focus. You know everything that's going on when you're hypnotized. You don't lose control or black out or float around the room. You just relax and focus on whatever we're working on. That's simple.
And you're accessing the subconscious, other parts of the mind, the greater mind.
Exactly.
Yes. And this is used in healing and also in restructuring one's body.
Yes.
Yes? Very specifically now, Lori has created two wonderful tapes. One is for men and one is for women. Working on very specific parts of the body, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And no one wants to say the words. For men, I do penis enlargement, and for women, breast enlargement. And people look at me like I've lost my mind.
That you can do this with hypnotherapy instead of with plastic surgery or Viagra, right?
Exactly. And there's even surgery for penis enlargement, which is very dangerous. I'd really beware of that. What I do, when you're hypnotized, you tap a part of a person's mind called the hypothalamus. It's right at the base of your brain here. The hypothalamus keeps you awake or puts you to sleep, and hypnosis is the state of mind right in between being awake and being asleep. Funny enough, where do the hormones get released from? From the pituitary. All of my biology majors out there go, pituitary.
Yes.
But what makes the pituitary respond? It's the hypothalamus, the very part of your mind that is tapped when you're hypnotized. That releases neurotransmitters to the pituitary. The pituitary releases hormones to your breast or to your penis. It's always ready to go. It's not just when you're 12 to 17 years old. Those hormones are always, always there. I do work on people from in their early 20s on up, and way on up. I have one client, one man in his 80s now. It's never too late.
And he's looking good, right?
He's looking good, looking good.
Speaking of looking good, you're sitting here, you look great.
Thank you.
Have you used this on yourself?
Of course, I was my big guinea pig. And I started out very saggy. I was much smaller breasted and just sagged like crazy. I haven't given birth or anything. I just looked like I had breastfed a few kids, and I had not. And so, of course, you know, I had to do it on myself to see how it worked. It works very quickly. The actual program is 12 weeks long, but I had experimented and researched. And I decided, well, let's see if it really works. I lifted and enlarged mine in just a few weeks. But, you know, I admit I had a little, you know, head start from people because I had researched and, you know, tried different techniques on different women.
So how many minutes per day would you go into this meditative state?
It's a meditative state.
And you do affirmations?
It's basically affirmations. I say we have your breasts grow, your penis grow. It's almost a side effect of the work. The work is to make yourself happy, to make you like yourself. You know,
And release those hormones.
and you release the hormones, you get the blood flowing. The blood flow affects both your penis and your breast.
So you're also putting a little bit of intent in there.
Exactly.
So you're doing these affirmations with the intention that you lift and expand.
Lift,
and
expand, lengthen, widen, whatever,
Whatever
you're
you
working
need.
on. We do a lot of work on like recontouring other parts. A lot of people are very happy with their breast or their penis. And they're like, I sure would like to get
A
smaller.
tummy tuck?
Exactly. You know, you're saying, but yes, people
Yes.
want you know, weight loss. What's the major issue we
well,
all
it's
have?
metabolic. So there again, it's hormonal, and I suppose you would be working on that area to increase your metabolism.
It's fun. It's not even increasing your metabolism. Your metabolism will increase slightly, but what it is what do you think? If you think that piece of pie will go straight to your hips, you know, how many times do you hear people say that? Of course it does. You
Well,
can still,
there again, it's
Exactly.
programming and the power of suggestion and the
Exactly.
mind. And again, everything is a state of consciousness. Your body reflects your state of consciousness. Really.
That's exactly right. Your state of consciousness and your state of subconsciousness.
Very important point. That's why the
Exactly.
hypnotherapy is so useful.
We tap that subconscious. Weight control is such an issue with people, but the good part about the weight control through hypnosis, you can still eat that piece of pie. It's just you eat it and you know it's not going to stick to you at all.
So then your body will just assimilate it and get rid of it.
Exactly. We won't get into that
Yeah.
part. But no, it's actually, no, it'll get rid of it. I have
Or
done that
deal
on
with it
myself.
in a more efficient manner so that it doesn't
Exactly.
wind up on you.
Stuck to you.
Yes.
And you can lose weight with your mind. We don't have to incorporate grapefruit and celery at all. We really don't.
Okay.
But I know.
Well, this is true. I mean, you might have heard about the yogis in India that will drink a bucket of lye and turn it to milk within themselves, and they're not poisoned by it at all because their state of consciousness is so incredibly high that it can deal with it. It makes their bodies be able to deal with the poisonous substance.
Yes.
Yes.
And of
We
course
hear
you can
hear
do that.
about these accounts all the time.
And I'm not recommending
No,
that anyone
don't
out there
try
try
this
that.
at
Don't
home.
do that at home. But
Right.
you know, once you get it, you get hypnosis done and really get it into your subconscious that it's okay to eat this cookie, this ice cream, and
Right.
that you are losing weight no matter what. And go through why are you hanging on to that weight in the first place?
Well,
What's it your excuse for? And everyone goes, I don't have an excuse. We all have certain issues with our body, and it's a great excuse. Usually excuses for why their relationships are not working. And once again, that's very subconscious. People don't realize it. And whether it's small-chested, not the penis that you desire, or being overweight, there's an issue that's connected with it, and that's what we explore through the hypnosis.
so you're getting rid of your stuff, your
Yeah,
baggage.
that's exactly.
And then you come through to the other side and you're able to be the best that you can be. One of the things that I like about this, I personally have a girlfriend who had silicone
Yes.
implants and became so ill several years afterwards. She had pains in her shoulders and back, and she didn't know why, and went to so many different doctors, and they would say, you're imagining it, or it's early arthritis. And then finally they discovered that the silicone was leaking out of her implants
Yes.
and destroying her tissues, and she, you know, had them removed, but the damage was quite extensive. So I like this idea better. I like
There-
this idea. This is nice.
There are no negative side effects. The only side effects are more sexual dreams, and you may be a little more interested in sex, which I think that's a
Doesn't
pretty good
sound
side
like a
effect. You know, most people are
That's
quite
okay.
happy about that side
We
effect.
could deal with that.
Because I know several of my clients are clients that have had implants and had them removed because of bad, you know, situations. So I know I've seen that over and over again, and really, you know, go the safe way. You know, go the safe way. Don't put artificial things into your body. Men are the same way. They go and have fat from other parts of their body put onto their penis to make them wider. Of course, that the other fat from the other areas doesn't know exactly how it's supposed to shape up and line up. You end up with a lumpy penis. We may giggle about it, but if you're the man with paid all that money for that surgery and have this ill-shaped lumpy penis, what are you going to do about it?
That's still not working right,
And
right?
and of course it's not working right, and your subconscious is embarrassed of it. you're going to have way less sexual thoughts with your lumpy, sideways penis.
So
do it safely.
And also in the hypnotherapy would be dealing with the issues that causes him to be inadequate in the first place.
Exactly. And it's funny, a lot of men that come to me have sexual problems, whether it's, there's so many sexual dysfunctions, whether it's impotency or not being able to stay erect, or, some people cannot ejaculate. There's a million sexual difficulties. A lot of men will come and they say they work on their sexual problems. That's corrected pretty easily. And then they're going, well, shoot, while I'm here, an extra inch or two wouldn't hurt. so, and it really, men, I'd like to look and say, men, what's your penis made out of? No men know. Men do not know what
they don't know that it's a muscle.
It's not a muscle.
It's not a muscle.
Every man thinks, they think it's their love muscle.
Right,
I hear
okay,
that.
the
Their
love muscle. It's not, okay.
It's not, muscle is surrounding, it's up in them, their muscle, but the actual penis, nobody knows this. You go through all, the medical doctors will know this. It is 3 shafts of soft tissue. There's a shaft in the middle that goes into the head, and then 2 shafts, they're all interconnected. It's 3 shafts of soft tissue. And well, what's soft tissue? Soft tissue is similar to fat. It's just more flexible, more pliable, easier to stretch and make wider. I don't know. I don't stand there and stretch it for them. No, none of that. No.
Just a mental stretch here.
Yeah,
mental
exactly.
stretch.
I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. No.
She's not that kind of doctor, okay?
No. But speaking of that, when I started researching all of this, the old tribal men, like from millions of years ago, really, they would tie stones to the young boys' penises, the teenage boys, and the tribal men, big and strong and virile, they would have long penises because rocks hung from them when they were teenagers. They would be this big around, real skinny, because they were stretched out to their knees.
The poor things.
But they were
Ouch.
long, And so they thought they were very manly. And it's funny, if you go
Do you see what our cultures do to us? Is this amazing? I mean, here we have women walking around with basketball boobs.
Exactly.
And our culture is telling us this is gorgeous, and they're hard as rocks and these big round things. And here you have these guys with rocks hanging off their penises.
And that is from millions of years ago. But today, you can go to the doctor's, well, it has to be a special doctor, but the surgeon's office today and have penile lengthening surgery. They will still put weights on your penis, because when it grows back, it will automatically go back to the size it started before you spent all those thousands of dollars. And so they put
Do the
weights.
trousers still fit with all this stuff in there?
And it's funny, they will put, they don't hang rocks, of course, but they will put, medical-looking weights on the penis to make it stay longer the way they cut it and, lengthened it to be. But I'm not recommending that you hang rocks from your penis. Please don't do that. But really, it is that easy to make your penis grow, but why not do it from the inside?
Right.
And it really is very easy. I hate to say this, what 2 females talking, it's easier for men's penises to grow than it is for women's breasts to grow. Men seem to respond just a little bit faster than women.
Now, I wonder why is that?
And people always say, why is that? I think because our breasts are made out of fat, and it's just the soft tissue is more pliable. It's easier to make that stretch and get wider and longer. Just you can pull on a penis and see, But once again, I don't know if I write, well, that may be fun for some people, but it's made out of something different.
But you're saying that in 12 weeks, I could actually increase a size or 2 here?
Most women in 12 weeks grow
With the tape?
one bra size with the tape set. It's actually 12 separate tapes, and it's a different tape every week. And it's not just, poof, you're bigger. It's, how do you feel about your body? What are your blocks? And women, sometimes I think maybe women have a few more blocks because our parents were going, no, 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 when we were teenagers, button up that top button, that skirt's too short.
There you go, it's that programming.
And males were usually like, oh, go have a good time. Not all males, but if we just weigh it out, women were more behave, behave, behave.
Yes.
And men were like, dads are going, go, you go,
You want to borrow the car tonight?
I know, exactly.
Yes.
So, and it's going back to childhood.
Right.
What were your issues? Men do have many issues. I have learned so much. And, not being a man, I was shocked the past couple of years I've researched all of this, because there are so many issues that they go through that you and I would never even think about.
So
And
when you
it's-
started studying as a hypnotherapist, you didn't know that you were going to get into these two very specific areas.
Not at all. I had no idea.
But you saw that there was
That's-
a need for this, yes?
I started doing breast enlargement a couple of years ago, and everybody said, when are you going to work on men? And I would just kind of smile and go, yeah. But every man asked
Right.
me that. And I thought, after about the 100th man, I said, I need to research this, don't I?
Wow.
And I found out that no one really does this. I thought it would be a fairly common practice, but I think it's a touchy subject.
Right.
And a lot of therapists just would rather stay away from it. But the men that come to me after the program, of course, they've got a bigger penis, but they've got more self-confidence. They walk differently. They
Right.
look differently. Their heads are up higher. They're a little more aggressive, not in a bad way, but more aggressive in their careers, you know, just in life, having more fun, happier, feeling better about themselves.
Well, there
So-
again, because you're addressing the issues and the blocks that are
Exactly.
underlying the physical state
Yes.
and condition.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Lori, is there something that you would like to leave our viewers with? I know that you do all kinds of affirmations and
I do,
sessions.
And the first thing, before I even do that, I'd love, because you and I have not met before, so we didn't pre-plan this or anything, but
I have no idea what she's going to do. Okay.
I do this,
But
I
it's a
show
pendulum.
This, it's a pendulum.
that much I know.
I have not secretly hypnotized you or anything. You know, we've been chit-chatting. But what I'd like you to do is just hold it with your pointer finger and your thumb, just like this, either hand. And then we'll make it still. And then with your mind, I'd like you to make it swing towards you, away from you, towards you, away from you. Just think about it doing that. Just visualize it going towards you and away from you, towards you.
I'm
and
going
away
left
from
to
you.
right. But
Okay,
I've
so what
always
you-
been difficult.
And all I'm doing is showing how strong your mind affects your body, because you're not moving anything, you're just thinking side to side, side to side. That's your mind affecting the teeniest nerves in your fingers. And your mind is affecting these nerves in your fingers. Why can't your mind affect your breast growth, your penis growth, shrinking your thighs, your tummy, your bottom, uplifting your breast?
I swear I'm not moving my hand.
And this, you're just thinking side to side, side to side.
Well, what happened was I started intending it.
Great, and
That's when it started to
exactly,
move. Just intending it.
exactly the way that we work.
Okay.
So we can do this. Now,
We can do this. It's intention.
exactly.
How about something to leave the viewers with? I know you do a lot of
Okay.
sessions and healings and affirmations.
I guess the best thing, so many people come to me and they say, what about when I'm about to scream at my boss at work, or I'm about to lose it with my wife or my husband? What's a quick stress-free thing I can do real fast?
Besides
So-
grabbing a drink or a
Besides
Valium
that.
or Xanax.
No
right?
punching allowed. none of
Right,
that.
yeah.
And the easiest thing is just to take a moment, take in a nice deep breath, just breathing in peacefulness, calmness, happiness, relaxation. You take in a nice deep breath, hold it for a moment, and then just exhale, exhale anger, rage, tension, stress, whatever you want to get rid of, whatever that emotion is that's driving you. Do that 3 times. Just calmness, peace, even something that makes you happy, maybe flowers, puppies. And then breathe out anger, stress, tension, sadness 3 times. Hold it for a moment in the middle. And then to key yourself into this calm, relaxing period, press your fingers together just like this, your thumb and your middle finger. That's actually just a little stress reliever, like you're pressing that stress away. You will be amazed at the calmness that will just come through your entire body. And you'll take the 2 minutes to do it. No one will notice. I'm not having you spin around in circles and stand on your head. You just take those 1 or 2 minutes to calm yourself. The breaths will calm you. This will just release that last little bit of tension, and you will be amazed at how calm you will become that quickly.
And you intend it. You have to work it. It's not just,
Exactly.
you have to do it. You have to really intend it.
And yeah,
Yes,
exactly. You
yes.
can't be going peace and I'm so mad and calmness
Right.
and I'm mad or mad. No,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You have to intend it. You have to mean everything that you're breathing in, and you're just breathing out the bad emotions, the bad intentions.
Right.
So
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah,
You can get
it's-
rid of headaches also.
yes, you
Yeah.
definitely. It's very easy.
Well, Lori Gregg with Mind Quest and these tapes for a new you in 12 weeks or less. Thanks so much for coming down today.
Thank you.
That was
I really enjoyed
great.
it.
I'm going to try some of this.
Yeah, yeah. That's fine.
And we'll let you know. Why don't you try it and call us and tell us how it came up or came out.
Release your mind, unwind the time. Welcome to the Galactic Center.
Sorry. We've just beamed down to the Whole Life Expo. So let's get the latest tips on holistic healthcare. You know, you come to these expos and you meet people and sometimes you just hit it off and connect. This is Joan Raderman, and we met, and within the first 30 seconds we were talking PMS and major issues of finding tennis sock balls in the laundry. And
the things that plague women and eventually affect men.
so we decided definitely we're going to be doing a women's show, so be watching for this.
Should be great.
Yes, well, we've had Source of Life Expo, New Life Expo. Here we are at the Whole Life Expo. So be watching for the Change of Life Expo, maybe.
Or Get a Life Expo.
Joan is a holistic nutritional consultant. So we're going to do a little consulting right now about PMS. You were telling me earlier about some things that we don't know about that can alleviate the symptoms.
In natural medicine or holistic medicine, we try to deal with the symptoms of PMS in a natural way. There are so many factors that create an intense PMS before a woman's menses. There are things that women can do to alleviate some of these symptoms, and some of them is dietary changes, nutritional changes. You'll find that even though we're craving the sugars and salt, that if we do eliminate the sugars and salts, that it's going to be much, much easier on us as our menses approach. Calcium and magnesium, excellent for reducing some of that nervousness that precedes our menses. If someone was to take calcium at bedtime, we can separate the calcium and magnesium, and we find that's even more effective. Taking calcium at bedtime and magnesium through the day, 1 or 2 to 3 capsules during the day, that can also reduce the stress and the anxiety around the PMS.
You see, and now I have been taking a pill straight from the drugstore, which is calcium, magnesium, and zinc all combined together into one pill. And you're saying don't do that. There's a better place to shop for the vitamins and get them separated.
There's controversy around calcium and magnesium being put together. We find that if you do take calcium and magnesium separately, it seems to be more effective. B6 is another excellent supplement to take for women during the time of when they're having PMS. It reduces the fluid in the body, it reduces edema in the body, so that's another excellent product. They can also start eating some asparagus, and there's some herbs called uva ursi, which will also help eliminate some of the fluid retention that causes a lot of the symptoms of PMS.
Well, I can tell you what's been working for me is St. John's wort, Dong Quai, and black cohosh. And since I've been taking the 3 of those for several months, I have seen a marked decrease in any kind of angst, where I used to have angst.
It's true. Those herbs are highly effective in reducing some of those symptoms. Another thing that a woman can do is use a small amount of Progest cream. This is a product that you can get over the counter in the health food store. It's also known as wild yam. And using this cream through the month on soft tissue of the body, the breast, the inner thigh, the arms, can also tremendously reduce the symptoms of PMS.
Now that's a new one. We'll have to go check that out. I know they have a booth here.
They do.
They do. People make a lot of jokes about the PMS monster, but it's really true. It's chemical imbalances.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it really brings out the monster in all of us, which is most unfortunate. I'm convinced that if it ended my marriage, and I think that there are probably a lot of other women who would like to be hiding under the covers during that period of time.
What were you telling me about the statistics of women's prisons?
It's true that most women who are in prison have committed crimes when they have PMS, right before their menses.
Just fit to kill.
Absolutely. Yeah. You notice how our nervous systems are uptight. It feels like we're plugged into an electrical socket, and it seems like everything is upsetting us.
I used to be up all night, absolutely just plugged into a wall socket, unable to sleep, because everything is racing. Your heart's racing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like we said earlier, there are things that a woman can do for it, but it just seems like all those little things that you didn't pay attention to during the month all of a sudden are are making you crazy, like the toilet bowl seat being left up, and socks left on the floor, and underwear left on the floor, and the kitchen being a mess, all of a sudden you're just ready to rip your hair out.
Or you were screaming, divorce!
That's right, that's right. Well, I think it might have had a little part to do with mine.
So now that we know about things like Dong Quai, black cohosh, the progesterone cream.
Progesterone cream, calcium, magnesium, B6, and also things that one can do, meditation tapes, trying to center oneself, taking walks. And I said, in Native American cultures and in most indigenous cultures, women respected that time during the month when they needed to have more alone space. Women are doing so much today. They have so many expectations placed on them from their own expectations and their families that they don't take the space during that time when we really need to nurture ourselves. And that is a time for a woman to start nurturing herself. If she needs to be alone for a while, she needs to be alone.
This is true. The Native American cultures did have a respect for the body. And actually, when a woman lost her moons or went into menopause, she was even more respected and was known as the old crone, the wise woman.
Absolutely. And even during sweat lodges, the medicine men felt that those women who were menstruating were producing so much power that they were not allowed in the sweat lodge. So it's a very powerful time for women. And what one might also find is the crying and the emotionalism. They're sensitive about the fact that this is more intense during this time, but in reality, we're feeling more emotional, and we need to respect those things that are bringing us to tears.
So when someone comes to you for counseling and she's having the sugar cravings and the salt cravings, what would you have her do?
Well, the first thing is we start detoxification. We start cleaning up the body. So all those things that we've been putting in our body that have been destructive or detrimental, we start getting that out. We clean the liver, we clean the bowel, and then we look at what her other symptoms are. If she is having cravings all through the month and they just become more intense when she's PMS, then very often it could be an elevated candida in her body, an elevated yeast in her body. And I find by going on a diet where we slowly eliminate the sugar, the yeast, and fermented foods, that is very, very helpful. It takes about 2 weeks to adjust to that. We put her on a much more high protein diet. We reduce the salt, we reduce the sugar. These things are essential for a woman to start cleansing and nurturing herself during the month so that when her menses comes, it changes. For myself, I went through this and it was dramatic once I went through this cleanse and dietary changes and a healthier lifestyle, that these symptoms can really dissipate. I suffered from it terribly, and once I really applied these things, they went away. And it was a miracle.
So there you go. You don't have to be the PMS monster every month.
No, you don't.
You can come and see Joan. Well, that's it for tonight's show. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to call and contact any of the guests that you've seen here this evening. Have a great week, a little heaven on earth. We'll see you next time.
For information, make contact with the Galactic Center.